Hola gente, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos una vez más a Epitafios, temporada número 2. Hoy tenemos una entrevista muy especial que está relacionada con el primer episodio que tuvimos en Epitafios. Estamos hablando de la banda Grey Daze y hoy vamos a tener entrevista con su fundador y baterista. Estamos hablando de Sean Dowdell, quien fue el fundador de este proyecto en 1991, que si bien en ese momento tenía otro nombre, que luego fue mutando hasta que quedó en Grey Daze. Hoy nos va a contar acerca de Grey Daze, los proyectos que se vienen, porque la banda vuelve. Para quienes no sepan, la banda se va a volver a juntar para dar unos shows y todos esos detalles nos los va a estar contando hoy en esta entrevista. Además, también nos va a contar cómo empezó en la música, su pasión por el arte, el tatuaje, los piercing. Todo eso y mucho más van a poder disfrutar en este nuevo episodio de Epitafios. No se lo pierdan.
Okay, I'm here to do the basically an interview about Grey Daze and my involvement in the band. My name is Sean Dowdell. I'm one of the founding members of the band Grey Daze, the drummer. First question for the interview is how I started with music. What were my first steps? I began playing drums when I was 18 years old. Basically self-taught, took a couple lessons here and there. Had a girlfriend at the time who had a mutual friend that said he knew a singer. He brought that singer in one day. This little scrawny kid with glasses and, not super rock star looking. And what was funny is I was not even a good drummer at the time. And I thought, I'm going to give this kid a shot. Who the hell was I to even, talk about giving this kid a shot, which is funny. But then the kid started singing and he was amazing. And basically, the first time I heard him sing, my jaw hit the ground. I knew he was a rock star at that very moment. And that young kid was Chester. Chester Bennington, singer now for Linkin Park. And, from that moment, Chester and I became close friends and basically hit it off and started writing songs together basically from 1991 all the way to mid 1998. We put out 3 records together. Next question is what motivated me to be a musician? Basically, I was hanging around with a lot of musicians at the time in the local scene in Phoenix, Arizona. And so what motivated me to be a musician? The time I was hanging out with a lot of local musicians in Phoenix, Arizona back in 1989 to 1991. A lot of my friends played guitar and drums and had local bands. None of them were too good, but at the time, when you're a teenager, anyone who could play a couple of riffs on a guitar was good in your mind if you didn't play music. So that was really the motivation. I just kind of wanted to be doing what my other friends were doing. And so I started to learn how to play drums myself. What do I think about the evolution of the music in these years? I love music, so I love a lot of the things going on in music, especially the electronic aspects. I think we're going to see super musicians in the next 10 years because of all the added electronic applications that we have. It's easy now for anyone to pop on their phone, just throw a set of headphones in, they can start playing to music, and create click tracks. There's apps and all these things, and it just helps people become better musicians. Back when I was doing it in the early, 90s, it was difficult to try to create clicks, and recording equipment was a lot more archaic, so it was a lot more difficult. But I love the direction of music, not so much with hip-hop. I think a lot of the hip-hop and rappers are pretty weak songwriters, but as far as rock music and electronic music, I really love it, and I think it's going to get even better in the next 5-10 years. So about Club Tattoo, how many years ago did I start? I opened Club Tattoo in 1995. My bass player in Grey Daze name was Mace, and he and I decided to open up the tattoo shop at the time. And Chester basically was living with me at the time, and so he would help me paint the shop and tile the shop and get it ready to open. And he was actually a very big help to me and Mace into opening the original location in Tempe. Second question is, have I had academic preparation to become a tattoo artist? No. I did learn how to tattoo the first year I had the shop. I just realized I wasn't a great artist. I wasn't good at drawing. And I'm very competitive, so I wanted to be the best. So I took on piercing. I started learning how to pierce. Started learning the technical applications of piercing, and really from that point just kind of developed my own thing and became a body piercer and business owner at that point. Third question, when did I start to feel passion for the art of tattooing, and who has influenced my art? So I've always been passionate, I would say since I was 16 years old, about tattoos. I got my first tattoo when I was 16. Once I got into the tattoo business, I really started learning a lot about the history and the culture of it, so I dove headfirst into that. And there was a lot of big influences as far as piercing career. You got people like Jim Ward, Fakir, Lane Angel, Steve Joyner. Probably my biggest influence piercing-wise, though, was Eric Dakota. The way he approached anatomy was completely different than everybody else, and I really loved the mathematical approach and technical obsession he had was just incredible. So I would say Eric Dakota. Let's see, the next question. When did I get my first tattoo? I already answered that. So my first tattoo was actually, when did I get my first tattoo? I was 16 years old. Got a fake ID to do it in Phoenix, Arizona. A guy named Paul Stotler was my artist. He's actually a very well-known artist. He goes by Small Paul now. It was a skull on my right arm. It's since been lasered off, and then I have, this Tibetan skull and this phoenix and these flowers all done over the top of that by another artist by the name of Chris Garcia. When did I set up my first tattoo studio? I opened Club Tattoo in 1995 in Tempe, Arizona. Next question. Am I a business partner with Chester? Yes, I am. Chester Bennington is my partner along with my wife, Thora. Thora and I actually run the companies together, and she's been a huge impact on the company and me personally, of course. But yeah, Chester's our partner, and it's great having him involved in the business. Let's talk about Grey Daze. So Grey Daze, we formed in 1991, my first year at college. Chester was a sophomore actually in high school. We met through a mutual friend of my girlfriend, and then he auditioned for the group. Of course, as soon as we saw him and heard him sing, we were floored, and we made an abandonment. From that moment, he and I were pretty inseparable for the next 8 years. Chester and I wrote a lot of the lyrics together off the first 3 records we did together. It was almost entirely Chester, myself, that wrote the lyrics. He always wrote the melodies. He was a great songwriter. What do I think our best show was for Grey Daze? I remember a show that we played at a place called the Electric Ballroom that was with a band called Kicking Herald. And I think there was about 2,000 people there, and it was just an amazing show. But we had a lot of those shows that were really unbelievable, quite honestly. A lot of shows where there was 1,000 plus people. We really did a great stage show, and we did a good job. A lot of great shows, a lot of great memories. What was the most memorable show for me? So the most memorable show was when we got to play. Now it's called Cricket Pavilion, but at the time it was called Desert Sky Pavilion on Earth Day, and that was, playing a big stadium. That was a big deal for me personally, as far as memorable. It wasn't our best show. wasn't that many people there actually, but it was just to be able to play that venue, that stadium, was pretty incredible. My favorite Grey Daze song is actually called Down Syndrome. That's off of the No Sun Today album. I think that's probably my favorite. That one I play piano at the very end of that album when we do an acoustic version. And I actually love the way Chester sings that song acoustically. I think it's great. I actually like quite a bit of the Grey Daze material. I think it's still relevant. I think they were really good songs. Let's see. Now, return after many years. Why are we going to reunite? Well, Chester and I have been talking about it for several years, about doing Grey Daze reunion. I know Chester, is fully involved in Linkin Park, and he loves Linkin Park, and I love Linkin Park, and I'm stoked for him to be doing everything that he's done, and especially the success that the band has had. It's just amazing. Those guys are the hardest working band I've ever seen in my life. They're really incredible guys. But we also both, we had a great time playing with Grey Daze, and I think that the music is still good. I think Chester just had a lot of fun playing with me and the other guys in the band, and I think we're doing the reunion because it just sounds like it's going to be fun. We're not trying to take it too seriously. And the next question is, do we plan on recording an EP or something? I have no idea. Honestly, it revolves 100% around if Chester wants to do something like that. I hope he does. That would be a blast. But I'm not really concerned about all that right now. I just want to get back together, actually get back on stage and play a show and see what the fan reaction is and see what the interest level is. And if it's large, then cool, we'll take it from there. But I'm not really concerned or trying to put all my eggs in that basket right now. So the next question is any details I want to share. So right now we're still waiting on dates to do the show together. We're probably looking around October when Chester gets off tour off this new Linkin Park record. It's going to be in Tempe, Arizona. There's a venue that we're going to do it at called the Marquee Theater. A good friend of ours named Donnie Johnson runs the whole place, and from back in the Grey Daze days, he is somebody we trust implicitly, and he's going to put the show on, and we'll do it sometime in October. And as soon as I have a date, I'll definitely announce it to everybody, of course. It'll be another Club Tattoo anniversary party, so there will be thousands of people there, and it will be a huge, awesome show. That's basically it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed Grey Daze. I love seeing the comments. I love getting the emails. I love doing the interviews. It's all fun stuff. By no illusion do I think Grey Daze is as great as Linkin Park, and nor could it be, because Linkin Park's had 20 years almost at this point, or 18 years of writing together and being together, and those guys work really hard and they're great musicians. So, but I am very proud of what we did in Grey Daze, so that's something I'd like to say, and I know Chester's proud of it, Mace is proud of it. It's going to be nice to have Jason Barnes come back and play with the band also. He was the guitar player from the first album, Wake Me, and as you know, Bobby Benish, the guitar player on No Sun Today, actually passed away from brain tumor back in mid-2000s, and we missed Bobby dearly. This will definitely be dedicated to him as we do the show. But it'll be great to see Jason up on stage with Mace, Chester. It'll be fun. Looking forward to it. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Feel free to reach out and share what you think about the music. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the songs, and we'll talk to you soon.
Y ese fue el capítulo de hoy, espero que les haya gustado. Si les gustó el video, compártanlo con sus amigos, suscríbanse al canal y denle me gusta. Nos vemos la próxima semana con un nuevo episodio de Epitafios, y eso fue todo. ¡Paz!